Hello again. So I just finished making a little video on how to make the microphone sound a little better on OBS. And the reason I had to do that is I just reinstalled my system, and so all my settings disappeared. Uh, so uh, this is the kind of stuff that happens all the time. But really, what I wanted to do today was spend a little time talking about OpenAI's Gym, which is it's a suite of tools for doing reinforcement learning, and it's really quite easy to get started with this. Uh, so if I bring up a terminal here, uh, I have I've done the installation here already, but I'm going to do it again. So essentially, I'm going to go into my code directory, and I want to download Gym from GitHub. So let's go to OpenAI Gym here. And then from here, we come to their main page, gym.openai.com. And we've got all the documentations here. And we've also got a link here to view on GitHub. So the first thing I want to do is go over to GitHub. And once I'm here, I want to click on this code button here, and then click on this little clipboard here. That's going to copy this URL. And I clone with SSH. I don't use HTTPS. That's another issue entirely. You can clone with either. If you have SSH set up correctly, then I find it much better to use SSH, because if you make changes and whatnot, you can pull and push. But let's not go too far down that road. Once we have this in our clipboard, this URL, I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to go into the documentation. And right here, it talks about how to do the installation. And we're going to use this. We're going to build from source down here. You can just do this if you want. But first, before we do anything at all like this, we need to create an environment for it, because we don't just install software into our base system. So for this, we do a Conda. I go into my code directory before I do this, because I want it, I'm going to be putting it in here. A Conda create minus name, minus name AI Gym. And I don't need to do this because I've already done it. It's going to create my AI Gym environment. And then we're going to have to do a Conda. Oops. Activate AI Gym. And when we do this, if you have a prompt like this, you'll see over here that the virtual environment has changed from base into AI Gym. And so now we're ready to do this, which is the pip install minus e dot. And I don't have pip on my system. I have pip 3, because once you have Ubuntu 20.04, you're not going to have Python 2 anymore. You're just going to have Python 3, and therefore you'll have Python 3, and you'll have pip 3. So you do this pip 3 install -e dot. And that's why we want to make sure that we're in the right location when we do this. We want to make sure that we are, and we're not in the right location, right? We're in the code directory. We want to cd into gym here. And once we're in gym, then we want to do this pip 3 -e, no, install -e and dot. And I'm not going to do this because I've already done it. And what this is going to do is it's going to install the AI Gym from the code that's in here. So you get this, I guess it uses this setup.py here. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not exactly sure how these packages are installed from these files here, but in any case, it works. And so once we've done that, I'm also going to do a sudo apt install cmake. Which I've already done, so I don't need to do it again. Because we're going to need this if we're going to look at more demonstrations, if we're going to work with more of the code. And then the other thing that we're going to need here, let's do a Control R here, Atari. We're going to need to do this one here. This is pip3 install Atari-Pi. And that's going to give us all the Atari games that we're going to be testing on. And I've already done that, so I'm not going to do that again. But once you do these things, then I made a directory here called programs, right? And then I made this test1.py. So let's go in here and take a look at this. Vim test1.py. And we're going to start out with the cart pole program. Am I doing this right? No, I'm not. Capital C. All right, is that right? Yes, it is. Okay, so once that's done, then we can do a Python 3 ./test1.py. And there we go. We've got the AI Gym running up here. Not terribly interesting, I'm afraid, but it's the start for this. Should come back on the screen eventually. Oops, now it just went away. All right, so once that's done, we can try some of these other things like the mountain car. So go back into VI here, and let's change this to mountain car. And Python 3, blah, blah, blah. And there it is running. This is it in this window, this little window here. And we'll see if that cart's ever going to get up the hill. So it's trying different things randomly right now. Excuse me, never got up the hill. So now we could do Ms. Pac-Man. Let's see. And that went pretty quickly, but I guess I guess it lost the game very quickly because it's just making random moves, so it's not very smart. And so this should get you started. This should get you up and running, and then you can continue to follow these instructions here in the documentation and learn something about reinforcement learning, which is pretty cool. Anyway, I thank you for watching me. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope that you have some fun with it. Bye-bye.